Welcome to Stories That Shaped Scripture, the channel where we uncover the forgotten voices, unseen acts of courage, and hidden threads that shape the story of the Bible. If you love discovering rich, underappreciated moments in Scripture, you're in the right place. Today's story is one of boldness, justice, and God's personal reward. And it comes from the mouth of a man most people have never heard of, Ebed-Melech. Imagine being a servant, not royalty, not a warrior, not even an Israelite. You're in a corrupt king's court, surrounded by powerful men who can end your life with a word. Then you see something terrible, a man of God thrown into a muddy pit to die. What do? Ebed-Melech made his choice, and because of it, God remembered him. But why? Jeremiah had spoken truth to power, again. This time the officials had had enough. They took the prophet and lowered him into a cistern. No water, only mud. No light, no escape. Jeremiah would die slowly, forgotten underground. The king, Zedekiah, didn't stop them. He shrugged and let them do it. Silence. The palace was filled with officials, advisors, soldiers, guards, and yet no one spoke up, except one man. His name was Ebed-Melech, an Ethiopian, a foreigner, a servant. He didn't have power, he didn't have rank, but what he did have was courage. He marched into the king's court and said the words no one else dared say. "My lord the king, what these men have done to Jeremiah the prophet is evil." Pause and let that sink in. A foreign servant calls out injustice to the king himself. Zedekiah listens. Shockingly, he gives Ebed-Melech permission to rescue Jeremiah. Not only that, he gives him men to help. Ebed-Melech rushes to the cistern, lowers old rags so Jeremiah won't be hurt further, and pulls him out of the pit. One act of courage changed everything. Weeks later, Babylon is at the gates. Jerusalem is falling. Chaos rules. But in the middle of destruction, God sends Jeremiah a message. But it isn't for the king. It isn't for the army. It's for Ebed-Melech. God says, "I will save you because you trusted in me." Jeremiah 39:18. Of all the people in Judah, God speaks personally to a man who wasn't even born there. Why? Because he acted justly. He defended the innocent. He feared God more than men. And God noticed. This isn't just about Jeremiah being saved. It's about what God sees. It's easy to think that only pastors, prophets, or kings shape scripture. But here, the spotlight falls on a man in the background. A man with no status. A man whose name literally means servant of the king. And yet, he becomes a servant of the king. He becomes a story that shapes scripture, not by writing it, but by living it. So let me ask you, would you speak up for what's right, even if it costs you everything? Ebed-Melech did, and heaven made a note of it. In a world full of silence, maybe the loudest thing you can do is stand. Thanks for watching Stories That Shape Scripture. If this story stirred something in you, please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss the next powerful story that often goes unnoticed. Share this with someone who needs to be reminded that courage doesn't require a crown, just conviction. See you next time.